Part 1. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. The real daughter comes to your door. July 23, 1989. Ji-yoon was sitting on the bed meditating when he suddenly noticed a refreshing breath. He was so surprised that he opened his eyes. It was spiritual energy. He finally felt the spiritual energy. It's been half a month since he was reborn. Ji-yoon meditates every day according to the habits of his previous life, but there has been no movement. Today, he suddenly felt spiritual energy. Ji-yoon felt surprised and happy. Thinking about the time when the spiritual energy revived in his previous life, and then thinking about what happened before his death, now is the time to leave the Ji family. The karma between myself and the Ji family has been severed in the previous life, and I have to resolve another karma in this life. Ji-yoon removed the look in his eyes and returned to his usual gentle and introverted look. As soon as I walked out of the room, I heard several exclamations from the main room. I could vaguely hear my daughter, my biological child, and the results of the appraisal done by someone at home. Ji-yoon's heart moved and he walked directly over there. The two people in the main room were chatting around a girl. When they saw Ji-yoon appearing at the door, the scene suddenly became quiet. "Mom, what is this?" a strange girl in the room asked timidly, looking at Ji-yoon with a vague look in her eyes. "Shen Momo, or Ji Momo is more appropriate, why is she here? Wasn't she in Baiun village this year? Could it be?" Ji-yoon had a guess in his heart, but looked at Ji Momo with curiosity on his face. He saw that her face was cute and naive, but her eyes were calculating. She was a little fat, and she looked very much like the Ji family, not at all. As she said in her previous life, she had suffered enough at her adoptive parents' home. Wang Milan was embarrassed. She originally thought that Ji-yoon was not at home. Who would have thought that she suddenly appeared at the door and would not be hiding outside and eavesdropping? I was originally thinking about how to tell this child, but there was no need to think about it now. After all, Momo had suffered for so many years, and she couldn't bear to let her suffer a single day of grievance. "Momo, this is Ji-yoon." Wang Milan took Ji Momo's hand and introduced her. Of course Ji Momo recognized the woman in front of her as Ji-yoon. She didn't expect that she was as beautiful in her teens as she was in her 30s. Seeing her thin and gentle look, Ji Momo gritted her teeth. Ji-yoon had robbed him of his life. If it weren't for her, he would be like this, noble and well-educated, instead of being in his 30s, accomplishing nothing and still being a loser after marrying a man. Now that I have come back more than 10 years ago, I will definitely live a better life. Ji-yoon looked at Ji Momo's unconscious expression of hatred and thought. It seemed that Ji Momo was also a reborn person, otherwise she would not have come to recognize her relatives so early. After all, it was him who was not the daughter of the Ji family in his previous life. I only discovered it when I was 32. Who is this? Ji-yoon looked at the face that was quite similar to Wang Milan's and had no special reaction as usual. Everyone is used to Ji-yoon's reticence. Thinking about the sound of several people in the room just now, Ji-yoon outside must have heard it, and he is still pretending here. "This is my biological sister," Ji Shen said at the side. "Mom has asked someone to do genetic testing abroad." Ji Shen raised the document in his hand. Ji-yoon then understood that Ji Momo had been back for many days and had done a genetic test without telling him. This would be certain, which was why Wang Milan had such a big reaction. Wang Milan looked at Ji-yoon's pale face and looked confused, and said quickly, "Yun, it's not that the family wants to hide it from you, but the matter has not been determined before, and they are afraid of hurting you. Momo, this child has been with you since childhood. My mother feels really sorry for you who have endured more than 10 years of hardship in the countryside. Please understand her feelings." Ji-yoon looked at Wang Milan, who had tears in her eyes and was full of distress. There was no fluctuation in her heart. The same was true for Wang Milan in her previous life. She relied on her care for her family and kept letting herself be patient. In the end, she had nothing. Then what should I do? Ji-yoon thought that this would be a good opportunity to leave, and he didn't care to accompany them to perform another show. He immediately pretended to be injured, but after saying the words, he remembered what he had experienced in his previous life, and his body, but he couldn't help but tremble. Ji Momo looked at the trembling Ji-yoon and couldn't help shouting in her heart. She must get rid of this woman who occupied her life, otherwise all her years of suffering would be in vain. From now on, all Ji-yoon's things belong to him. Mother Ji, seeing you, I have fulfilled my wish. I have to go back immediately, otherwise my mother will give birth and no one will take care of her during the confinement period. Ji Momo looked at Wang Mylan reluctantly. No, you are my daughter, you are not allowed to go anywhere. Wang Mylan held onto Ji Momo's hand tightly, for fear of losing her again. How could the apple of the Ji family's eye serve an unrelated woman? Thinking of this reminded her of Ji Momo's previous suffering, and Wang Mylan looked at Ji-yoon with complaints in her eyes. Okay. You can hear the noisy sound from so far away. Don't you think it's embarrassing? Ji Chang, the head of the Ji family, heard the sound coming from the room just after returning home, thinking about the people he just saw in the alley. Ji Chang looked at the curious woman with a displeased look on her face. What good would this do to her family if a girl made it known to the whole neighborhood? Wang Mylan was so frightened by her father-in-law's expression that she fell silent. She knew that her father-in-law took his face very seriously, so she quietly asked someone to do an appraisal. Things were perfect, but she didn't know that Ji-yoon had bumped into her and she didn't know what's going to happen next. No matter what, Momo can't leave anymore. Ji Chang only found out about this yesterday. He didn't take it to heart at first. Anyway, looking at Ji-yoon's appearance, he would at most marry a little girl to a family that would be helpful to the family. As for who is the biological child, it doesn't matter. Unexpectedly, when I came back today, I found that people in the alley started to discuss this matter. Then this matter must be handled properly. The biological ones must be taken care of, and the raised ones must be handled with care. The reputation of the family cannot be ruined. After all, the boss is critical time. Ji-yoon, you know the whole story, what's your decision? Ji Chang asked calmly. I want to leave. Ji-yoon lowered his head and said, looking very sad. Ji Momo didn't expect Ji-yoon to agree to leave so easily. Life in the Ji family was so good, shouldn't she stay in the Ji family shamelessly? Just like in the previous life, could Ji-yoon also have adventures? Ji Momo couldn't help but look at Ji-yoon carefully. Seeing that she lowered her head and looked taciturn, she looked nothing like the strong, confident, and strong Ji-yoon she had seen in her previous life, so Ji Momo gave up. Idea. She, Ji Momo, is the only heroine in this world. How can anyone else have such adventures? Have you decided to go back to your own home? At this time, in the main courtyard of the Ji family courtyard, the gray-haired Ji Chang continued to ask with a serious face. It doesn't matter if this is the case, nothing can happen in the remote mountain village of Bayun village. Matter. As for whether the Ji family will use her in the future, Ji Chang believes that the day will come when his family will find a peasant girl. Even if it does, the years of upbringing will not be in vain. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 2. Chapter 2, Getting rid of the Ji family. Ji-yoon knew that Ji Chang had the temperament to take one step at a time, and the future of the Ji family was more important to him than the children of the Ji family. I simply gave him a reassurance and continued to say firmly, yes, Grandpa, I have decided. I can only repay your kindness in raising me in the future. The Ji family's daughter has been recognized back, so isn't it an eyesore that she is still here? It is serious to return to the countryside decisively and fulfill the family relationship. Ji Chang looked at the girl with a firm face in front of him. It was the first time in 19 years that he saw this granddaughter talking to him confidently and so firmly. Ji Chang thought for a while and said with a rare kind face, "Okay, Grandpa can't bear to see you separated from your biological parents, but you have to remember that the Ji family will always be your home. The Ji family has raised you, we will come and visit often in the future, so don't forget us relatives when you go back." Ji Yun knew what Ji Chang meant. If he had heard him say this in his previous life, he would have been very moved and secretly kept the kindness of the Ji family in his heart. But now Ji Yun has seen through the true face of the Ji family. After all, in his previous life the Ji family relied on the grace of upbringing to push themselves into desperate situations step by step. Ji Yun mentally nodded cooperatively after Ji Chang finished speaking. "Yun, Mom has raised you for so long, why are you leaving just now?" Although Wang Milan cares about her newly recognized biological daughter, she is also a little reluctant to let go of her adopted daughter who she has raised for 19 years. "I had already planned everything. I was raising my 2 children at home and there was no shortage of food anyway. I didn't expect that this girl would be so stubborn and directly ask the old man to go back to her home. What's so good about her home? When she met Momo, she did some research on that home. Coupled with what Momo's words revealed, what kind of life can a family in a poor ravine give her? She's already admitted to college. I probably won't even be able to pay the tuition after I go back. Mom, since they want to leave, just let them go." Ji Shen on the side was a little irritated listening to Ji Yun's words. In the past, he was most annoyed by the sister taking care of herself, and her personality was not pleasant. "I never liked to play with her, and now that I heard that she was leaving, I should be in a good mood, but I don't know why I feel a little inexplicably irritable. Sister, you'd better not leave. I think it's better for me to go back. Anyway, I've adapted to the life in Bayun village. I've been here for so many years. Sister, you are already in college and have a bright future. It's better for me to go back." Ji Momo looked at Wang Milan's reluctance to stay with Ji Yun and said while wiping away tears. As soon as these words came out, the living room was silent for a few seconds. Everyone realized that the attempt to retain Ji Yun might have hurt Ji Momo, who had just returned. Wang Milan suddenly panicked and quickly took Ji Momo's hand and said carefully, "Momo, what are you talking about? You are our daughter and you are not going anywhere. Your parents have owed you for so many years and they must make up for it in the future. As for you, you are only a sophomore in high school. We will find 2 more tutors in the future. The educational resources in the city are very good, and we will also go to college. Yes, sister, Ji Yun can pass the exam. You are my biological sister. You must have the smart genes in our family. It's not easy to get into college." Ji Shen, who had never spoken softly to Ji Yun in the past, now seeing her sister's tears, she immediately softened her voice. Ji Yun looked at the family gathered together over there and felt that it was the right choice to propose going back today. Otherwise, if he stayed here for a few more days, nothing might happen. "Mom, I'm sorry, she will be with you in the future. I also want to go back and see what my old home is like." Ji Yun looked firmly at the head of the family, Mr. Ji. "Okay, let Yun go and see her biological parents. Your child has been found, and you have to think about others." Ji Chang made the final decision on the side. Hearing Mr. Ji say this, Wang Milan wanted to say something else, but looking at Ji Momo's pale face, she finally swallowed her words. "Well, grandparents, I'm going back to pack my things. By the way, I'm going to use the household registration book at home later to move my household registration out, so that Ji Momo's household registration can be moved in. Things can be done." It went smoothly. Ji Yun was in a good mood, controlled the expression on his face, and continued. Originally, Wang Milan wanted to say that it didn't matter whether she moved her hyukow or not, but when she heard that Ji Momo's hyukow was going to be transferred, she swallowed the words that were on her lips. Ji Chang nodded in agreement and asked Ji Shen to go over and help him apply for the household transfer, and then went back to his room. Ji Yun glanced at the remaining people in the room and exited the room directly. Ji's family lives in a courtyard with 3 entrances. It's not a large courtyard, but they live very closely. There are 5 members of his family, plus 5 people from his uncle's family, and an old man. The whole house is full. But fortunately, Ji Yun also has a room, in a small wing at the second entrance. Although the room is not big, the lighting is still very good, which is much better than the situation where many families are crowded into one room. Ji Yun didn't have many things of his own. They were mostly books he had used for school for so many years. Ji Yun packed up his things. After living for 19 years, he could only take away a small box of things. Looking at his room again, Ji Yun turned around and walked outside without any hesitation. Ji Yun originally thought about what to say if his family members came out to see him off, but they just stood at the door of the main room and looked at him and did not come over. This saves Ji Yun trouble and does not have to think of ways to deal with these people. Yun carried his things, bowed to Wang Milan, turned around and walked outside. From now on, I will no longer be the daughter of the Ji family, and the cause and effect of my previous life will be cut off. If the Ji family is no longer looking for trouble, I can put aside everything from my previous life and start a new life. Yunyun Wang Milan called out as she looked at the person who turned around, and Ji Yun stopped. Then I heard Ji Momo call her sister in a tearful tone. In the end, Ji Yun didn't wait for Wang Milan's words and strode out of the Ji family's door with his luggage. Ji Shen was already walking in front, showing no intention of waiting for him. Ji Yun doesn't care either. He has been like this because of his family's favor. Ji Yun is used to it. The Ji family's courtyard is in an alley. Although Wang Milan did not announce it loudly, the news about the Ji family having the wrong child still leaked out. The neighbors next to them knew the whole story to some extent, so Ji Yun was busy meditating these days and ignored about this matter. There are people in the alley who have nothing to do with themselves, but most of them are people who like to watch the excitement. As soon as Ji Yun left home, he attracted the attention of everyone in the alley. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 3. Chapter 3, Helping when there is an injustice on the road. Some are subtle and some are direct. This is the first time Ji Yun has received such treatment. Ji Yun raised the corner of his mouth and smiled at the people around him, then lowered his head slightly and walked directly out of the alley. Although there were people who were more playful, Ji Yun was not ready to go over and say hello now. Ji Yun, where are you going? University hasn't started yet, Li Shutong, who lives in a courtyard not far from Ji's house, asked with a smile. Ji Yun knew what kind of person she was. She dared to say anything and ask questions. At this moment, she was sure that this person knew everything, but she still came over to ask her, obviously wanting to see a joke. Aunt Li, you are wrong, my surname is not Ji anymore. I heard someone said my surname is Shen, is that so? A woman watching the excitement said with a smile. When this person said this, the people next to him stared at Ji Yun, as if they wanted a definite answer. Yes, it's almost noon. Let the ants get busy. I'll leave first. Ji Yun didn't want to say anything more to these people, so he just hesitated and walked forward. Those who originally wanted to see Ji Yun's joke were stunned when they saw Ji Yun admitting it so readily, and no longer knew what he was talking about. She needs to move her household registration first, as there is an office at the entrance of the alley. With Ji Shen, the male member of the Ji family, following him, things went smoothly. Ji Yun took his household registration transfer certificate and chuckled. It was great that he no longer had to share the household registration book with G's family. You still have the nerve to smile. You are really heartless. Your family member who has supported you for 19 years is about to leave. Don't you feel a little bit reluctant to leave? Ji Shen said with an ugly face. You were the one who wanted to leave me first, weren't you? Ji Yun looked directly at Ji Shen and asked softly. When were we going to let you go? It was obviously you who asked to go back. You stole Sister Momo's life for 19 years, and our Ji family supported you with delicious food and drink. Why, you can't bear this grievance. Really? Ji Shen looked angry. Why should I suffer this grievance? Haven't I suffered enough grievances in the past 10 years? Don't stand and say sarcastic words without back pain. It's obvious that you are the only ones who are living well. Now that I have left the Ji family, I don't know how happy I am. Ye Ji Yun said softly, with a smile that couldn't be concealed on his face. What did you say? Ji Shen was very unhappy when he heard what Ji Yun said. He had been raised by the family for so many years, and he left as soon as he wanted. He also said that he had been wronged at home. He was really a white-eyed wolf. You said I stole your sister's 19 years, why don't you say your sister also stole my life? Maybe I like the life in my biological parents' home better. No matter how poor I live there, I will be happy with it. Unlike in the Ji family, everything has to be given to you and your eldest brother. The whole family is cold and impersonal. You should hurry up and cultivate a relationship with your sister now, and don't waste your time on me, an outsider. Ji Yun looked at Ji Shen and said loudly, and walked directly outside the office without waiting for him to say anything else. Ji Shen stared at Ji Yun, who was walking away. What does it mean that his family is impersonal? He is a boy, so shouldn't he give in to others? Wanted to continue looking for Ji Yun to reason, but saw that Ji Yun had already walked away. Ji Shen got rid of him, and Ji Yun even laughed out loud. It's time for me to visit Baiun village and see the poor but kind parents who gave Ji Momo the same love. Now they all belong to me. Ji Yun couldn't help but curl up the corner of his mouth thinking about it. Stand up. When we arrived at the train station, we directly bought a train ticket to Suzhou City. After getting off the bus, Ji Yun found a bus to Jinhua town on the other side of Baiun village. After some inquiries, Ji Yun breathed a sigh of relief after struggling to squeeze into the car from the crowd. This trip was not easy, and he almost missed it. There were many people and a lot of cargo on the bus. Ji Yun could only squeeze in front of an armrest and hold on tightly to prevent himself from being thrown out of the ups and downs of the bus. The bumpy roads made people dizzy, and Ji Yun couldn't bear it. She really didn't expect that the roads in the townships were so bad at this time. Hibernating the discomfort, Ji Yun wanted to walk forward, maybe it would be less bumpy. I saw 3 hands reaching into the pocket of an old woman next to me. Ji Yun regained his composure and looked at the tall thief next to him. Ji Yun, who currently had a low force value, did not choose to go directly. Just when Ji Yun was thinking of a way, the thief had already stolen the wallet quickly. The car made a sharp turn, causing Ji Yun to stumble. It also gave Ji Yun a chance to stab the man hard with a pole next to him. With the speed of the car, the man smacked him. Fell down in the carriage. Auntie, your things have been stolen. Ji Yun took advantage of the thief's confusion and quickly called out to the aunt who hadn't noticed yet. Ah, my things have been stolen. Shen Huiyan felt that there was nothing in his pocket and shouted. The bus driver probably heard the cry and braked immediately. The thief who was about to get up fell back again. The driver stopped the car, stood up and asked, whose things were stolen? Look quickly to see if anything else has been stolen. No one got on or off the car along the way. We are going to catch this thief today. The driver had a strong sense of justice and immediately closed the car door to try to catch someone in a trap. Once everyone heard what the driver said, they immediately stopped complaining about the driver's wild driving skills and stood up directly to start checking their luggage. Oh, Isn't this my wallet? Everyone, hurry up and catch this thief. Only then did Shen Huiyan realize that the person lying down seemed to be holding her wallet. This thief was unlucky enough. He was about to steal the last one and get off the car. Unexpectedly, Ji-yoon saw him. Looking at the stolen goods that were dug out, he immediately cried out that he was unlucky. Why was he accidentally touched by a pole? Hey, driver, this man has stolen so many things, let's send him directly to the police station, otherwise there will be another one, Shen Huiyan said angrily, thinking about the public funds he almost lost. Okay, everyone, sit down and hold on. We'll go directly to the police station. You don't have any objections? Driver Lee was also a cheerful person. He greeted him directly. Seeing that no one had any objections, he accelerated the car to the fastest speed and drove the car in the air. The road ups and downs, moving forward quickly. After sending the person to the Public Security Bureau and recording a confession, Ji-yoon went out and saw the woman in the car whose money had been stolen waiting for someone outside. Girl, thank you just now. I heard others say that you poked the thief in the car and made him fall. You helped me a lot. Shen Huiyan did not dare to say anything while in the car. I was afraid that the little girl would be retaliated by the thief, so I came here to express my gratitude. Ji-yoon thought he was hiding his actions, but he didn't expect someone to discover him. He felt annoyed that his abilities had deteriorated, and then he accepted the fact that he was still weak. It's a small matter, don't take it to heart, Ji-yoon said with a smile. This is not a trivial matter. The money in my pocket is public money. If I lose it, it will be a sin. Fortunately, with your help, not only did I find the thing, but also helped others find it. Shen Huiyan knew the more friendly he feels when he looks at this girl, and the happier he feels when he thinks that this girl has helped him. By the way, girl, are you here to visit relatives? Shen Huiyan asked curiously when he heard that Ji-yoon's accent didn't sound like the local accent. Ji-yoon nodded, I want to go to Bayun village. Bayun village, you probably won't be able to make it now. It will get dark soon. Going to Bayun village is all mountainous. It's very unsafe for a little girl like you. Shen Huiyan knew Ji-yoon's destination and said quickly. Ji-yoon didn't know this. After all, he came here more than 10 years ago in his last life, and it was only 1989. It was normal to think that the roads were not repaired. No matter how powerful Ji-yoon was in her previous life, she is still a helpless 19-year-old girl. She really doesn't dare to walk into the mountains alone at night and reach Bayun village. Then let's go there tomorrow morning. Now that we're here, Ji-yoon is not in a hurry. Well, I'll treat you to a meal tonight, Shen Huiyan said enthusiastically. Ji-yoon refused again and again, but was finally pulled over by Shen Huiyan for a meal. After dinner, we stayed in a guest house in town for one night. Early the next morning, Ji-yoon packed up and prepared to go to Bayun village. Unexpectedly, as soon as he walked out of the guest house, he saw the aunt he met yesterday waiting there with a young man. I know you are going to Bayun village today, and my son is also going there. I heard you said yesterday that it was your first time to go there. The mountain road is difficult, so I just want him to lead you. Shen Huiyan pulled Ji-yoon and said enthusiastically. Ji-yoon didn't expect that he could find a guide for himself. I couldn't help but look at the young man behind Shen Huiyan. He looked like he hadn't woken up. He must have been dragged out of bed early in the morning. He was about 20 years old. He was wearing a floral shirt and a popular middle-parted hair. He is a fashionista. I wonder if he is reliable as a guide? No need, just give me directions. After all, we had only met twice, and Ji-yoon didn't want to trouble him. It's okay, Hwangbin's grandma's house is also over there, so let him go and have a look, Shen Huiyan said enthusiastically. Just like that, Ji-yoon was enthusiastically handed over to the guide. Bayun village is located in a mountain kernel. There is a small plain in it, and the houses are built against the mountain. Looking at the smoke rising from the houses in the distance, Ji-yoon followed Hwang-bin and walked there. "I've been sleeping all this way. Which house are you going to?" Hwang-bin, who was walking in front, stretched and turned his head to look at Ji-yoon. At this glance, he felt that this girl seemed familiar. "Have you seen her before somewhere?" Hwang-bin turned his head and thought, but he would definitely be impressed by such a beautiful girl. Ji-yoon didn't care what Hwang-bin thought. He followed him to the village and said, "I'm looking for Shen Liman." "Hey, this Shen Liman seems to be my brother-in-law." Hwang-bin reacted belatedly, "Why are you looking for him?" "There is something big." Ji-yoon was not familiar with him and had no intention of going into details. Ji-yoon stopped when he reached the slightly familiar door. In his last life, Ji-yoon came here once, but he only talked about his life experience, and then left in a hurry because he had something to do. He died before he could arrange the rest of the things. "This is my second time in this life." Ji-yoon suddenly became a little nervous. Looking at the slightly dilapidated wooden door in front of him, Ji-yoon reached out and knocked. Hwang-bin was a little confused. Why did he knock on the door of his grandma's house instead of looking for his brother-in-law? Thinking about it, his mother told him to come and see his grandma before leaving home. Hwang-bin felt that it was not too late to visit his brother-in-law after seeing his grandma. "Who is it?" It was almost noon, and someone was at home. He heard the knock on the door and answered immediately. Looking for someone. As soon as Ji-yoon finished speaking, the door in front of him was opened. "Girl, who are you looking for?" Yang Xiaoko looked at the kind-faced girl in front of him and asked curiously. This girl's clothes are not cheap at first glance. "Who are you looking for in this mountain?" "I haven't heard of anyone. I don't know." "Relatives in the city?" Could it be that the young man in the village went out to find someone, and they found him at home? Ji-yoon saw the old lady appearing in front of him, looking at him with a little curiosity. The old lady was kind-hearted, not tall, slightly thin, wearing an apron, and she seemed to be cooking. Ji-yoon took a deep breath. He had never seen this old lady in his previous life. Could it be that she was his grandmother? She looked a bit like her. "Hello, Grandma, I'd like to see Shen Liman," Ji-yoon said politely. "Hey, Shen Liman, isn't this my youngest son?" "Grandma, you're here to see my brother-in-law." Hwang-bin saw that Grandma didn't notice him at the moment, so he took the initiative to greet him. "Why are you here again? Didn't I say you're not allowed to come over until you find your partner?" Yang Xiaoko noticed Hwang-bin behind him and said angrily. "Grandma, I'm your grandson. My mother specifically asked me to come and see you. Plus, my mother asked me to bring people here. Isn't this a mission?" Hwang-bin was very unjust, but it was not his own initiative. "Coming." Hearing what Hwang-bin said, Yang Xiaoko rolled her eyes at Hwang-bin and turned her gaze back to Ji-yoon. His youngest son didn't go down the Tiantian mountain very often. How could he know such a girl? No, this girl looks familiar. "Shen Liman, just wait, I will take you there myself." The old lady took off her apron, put away her smile and walked straight up. "This little daughter-in-law is about to give birth. If something happens, it will be bad." Ji-yoon looked at the old lady's figure and realized that her biological parents' home was still up there. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 4. Chapter 4. A great girl descended from heaven. "Grandma, I'm going with you." "Just in time, my mother told me to see how my little aunt is doing." Before the two of them walked a few steps, Hwang-bin followed them. Ji-yoon glanced at him and then walked forward. He had met too many people in his previous life, so Ji-yoon didn't care about the curious eyes of the person behind him. After walking a few steps up, the old lady stopped. Ji-yoon looked at the relatively new house at the top, and suddenly realized that this might be his parents' home. "In my last life, I was in such a hurry that I didn't even have the chance to come back and take a look." Now I look at the small courtyard in front of me and I am really satisfied with it. It is located at the highest point of the village. Looking down, you can see the smoke of every household and the hazy farmland in the distance. Looking up at a stretch of green mountains, the sun shines through the leaves and shines straight into the small courtyard. The ginkgo trees divide the heat of the sun. The old lady walked to the door of the courtyard, opened the door and walked in, still greeting people. "Mom, why are you here?" A tall and thin man came out of the room. Wearing an apron, he is about 185 centimeters tall, standing there with a spatula, and his posture is very upright. He is nearly 40 years old, and he does not look old at all. He does not look like a rural person at all. If you change your attire, everyone will believe you if you say you are a teacher from any university. Think about the time when I saw him in my previous life. He had already become a vicissitudes of life old man with a crooked back and more white hair than black hair. Ji-yoon didn't know what he had gone through in the past 10 years to make such a person become like that. "There is a girl looking for you," the old lady whispered. She looked familiar to the girl just now. Now she looked at the younger son to confirm that she looked like him. How good is this? This boy was very handsome when he was young. "Don't do anything wrong, my little wife is still pregnant." "Mom is here," a female voice came from the room at the same time. The old lady responded quickly, "It's okay, Can, just have a good rest. You're heavy, I just came over to check on you. As long as you're okay." The female voice inside heard the old lady say this, and originally wanted to get up and take a look, but in the past 2 days, she didn't know if she was about to give birth, and her stomach felt very heavy, so she responded, "Mom, why don't you eat here for lunch? Lyman just wants to eat the roasted eggplant you made." Okay, you rest first. I'll see what the third child is doing. It's hot outside, so don't come out." The old lady dismissed her daughter-in-law, and quickly took her younger son and Ji-yoon outside, so that she wouldn't let her see. When it comes to this girl, her wife is pregnant. Ji-yoon was a little confused as to what the old lady was going to do. Shen Lyman was a little curious as to why this girl from Niangla looked a bit like him. She couldn't be a relative of his. Thinking about his interpersonal relationship, she could be a descendant of the lost grandfather's family. The old lady took the man and walked a long way up the mountain, making sure that the young daughter-in-law in the house below couldn't hear the sound, and then stopped. "Mom, can you just say no to anything at home? I still have to cook for Can and the children." "This girl is a relative of ours, Mom, you are serious? Why are you taking people to the mountain? Let's go back to the house and sit and rest." Shen Lyman saw the old lady stop, and quickly broke away from the old lady's hand, and greeted Ji-yoon warmly. Yang Xiaoko looked at his handsome and serious son, and when he opened his mouth, he acted like an old woman, and almost pulled the girl. After having a good chat, I couldn't bear to look at her. "What did you say I wanted to do? This girl is here to find you." Yang Xiaoko thought about the speculation in his heart, and he didn't have a good look towards Shen Lyman. The old and young couple were very good. If there was an extra person in the family suddenly, it would be a huge commotion. "You're looking for me," Shen Lyman couldn't help but look at Ji-yoon. Ji-yoon looked at the slightly unkind eyes of the old lady, then looked at the doubtful eyes of Shen Lyman and Huang Ben next to him, and said calmly, "I came here to find a relative. If there are no accidents, you are my father and you are mine grandmother." Shen Lyman was so shocked that his mouth opened wide. No wonder his mother looked at him in a bad way. Who could bear the eldest daughter from heaven? "Girl, I didn't recognize my father as soon as you came up like this. Are you mistaken? I have a family and a small child. You can't cheat me." Shen Lyman was about to cry. If his wife knew about this, how good is that? "I can't live without my wife." "You still don't admit it? If you weren't my biological son, I would definitely beat you to death today. Look at this girl's appearance." She's so tough-tongued. Hurry up and explain all the good things you have done to me. Let me see, can I still forgive you? If not, just leave. There is no one like you in our family, the old lady said very ironically. Hearing what the two people said, Ji-yoon realized that he seemed to have made a mistake. He also blamed himself for not making it clear and causing people to misunderstand. Grandma, don't get me wrong, it's like this: is there a girl named Shen Momo in your family? Momo is my granddaughter, why are you asking her? The old lady's tone was still bad. He looked so much like her son. It was a misunderstanding. She couldn't be trying to fool herself, the old lady. Momo, by the way, Hwang Bin, Momo said some time ago that he would stay at your house for a few days. Why haven't you come back after so long? Shen Liman answered Ji Yun's question and couldn't help but ask Hwang Bin on the side. No, she didn't say that the little brother at home was sick. You asked her to borrow some money. I got the money for her and she came back. She didn't stay at my house for too long. Hwang Bin didn't expect that he was eating his uncle's melon. When I was feeling energetic, the fire burned me. So it means Momo didn't come back. Shen Liman's eyes were stunned now. Oh no, Momo hasn't come back for so long. Could it be that she encountered danger on the way back? No, she will be fine. Mom, you are watching Can at home, and I quickly found someone to find Momo. It has been more than 10 days. Shen Liman said. A grown man was crying, and his whole body was visibly nervous. Ji-yoon sighed. Shen Liman was worried about Ji Momo, but Ji Momo didn't seem to take these people to heart. He probably even went to the capital in secret. He grabbed Shen Liman, who was rushing down, and said, "Stop looking for her. Shen Momo is fine. She has gone to Beijing. She will be fine now. It will definitely be better than at home. After all, Ji's family has just found her. Don't you miss a few days? How do you know? You have seen Momo." Several people looked at Ji-yoon suspiciously. I've seen her before. She's the biological daughter of the Ji family in Beijing. Ji-yoon didn't show off. Seeing how worried they were, he said directly. Just what he said made several people stunned. How could this daughter, who had been raised by his family for more than 10 years, become someone else's? End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 5. Chapter 5, The Birthmark on the Shoulder. How can my adopted daughter become the biological daughter of an adult family? I don't agree, Shen Liman said excitedly. He felt that the girl in front of him was talking nonsense. He had been fooled by her appearance, but now he said it again: her daughter is someone else's, so she wouldn't want to say that she is his biological daughter. Nonsense, even though my daughter is not so good looking, she has been raising her for more than 10 years. It's just that the Ji family has no daughters. It's unreasonable to rob our granddaughter. Although our family is poor, we are not the family that sells children. Tell me what the status of the Ji family is in Beijing. The old lady was so angry that she even put aside her suspicions about Ji-yoon. Ji-yoon looked at the anxious expressions of the two people and felt a little strange in his heart. He had never experienced this in the Ji family for so many years. Now, seeing his relatives caring about Ji Momo in front of him, he couldn't help but think that without this chaotic life, his own life would have been different. Will life be a little different? Can you calm down and listen to me? Ji-yoon said calmly. These two people were also concerned and confused, and did not think deeply about what Ji-yoon said at all. Shen Liman was not so excited when he heard Ji-yoon say that Ji Momo was fine. You just said that Momo is the biological daughter of the Ji family, then you, Shen Liman also realized this calmness. Just now, the girl seemed to have said that he should be her biological father. I hugged Ji Momo wrongly when I was little, Ji-yoon said directly. Hwang Bin was dumbfounded as he listened. At first, he thought that his uncle was sorry for his aunt, but now the matter has changed in another direction. He must listen carefully and go back and talk to his mother. The wrong hug, the old lady reacted. If she hugged her wrongly, it meant that the girl was born to her daughter-in-law, and there was no need to worry about the relationship between the daughter-in-law and her son. Shen Liman, you are really capable. Your own children can admit their mistakes. Look how much this child looks like you. I'll tell you that this child is your child. You still don't admit it. The old lady took Ji Yun's hand directly. Began to complain about his biological son. As for the suspicion that Ji Yun was born by another woman, that does not exist, there is no such thing. The old lady accepted it quickly, but Shen Liman did not accept it so quickly. After all, it was the daughter he had loved for 19 years. Now that someone who looked like him said that the daughter was not his own, could he believe it? Do you have any evidence? Shen Liman asked with a frown. Little uncle, what evidence do you need? Look how much she looks like you. Besides, look at her clothes. They are all good clothes. How could such a person come to lie to you, a poor old farmer? Huang Bin. I couldn't stand it any longer, so I pulled Shen Liman aside and whispered. Then I have to figure it out. How can I explain this to your aunt? This is so unclear. This girl is a good girl, and I have to make sure that what she says is true. The relationship that has lasted for more than 10 years cannot be, it's gone if you say no. Shen Liman shook his head helplessly. Then if she is really a cousin, won't she be sad if you say that? Huang Bin said softly. Sad? I should be sad. The person I have loved for more than 10 years is not my own daughter, and I don't know if anyone else loves my own daughter. Can't I be sad? Looking at Ji Yun's face, thinking about the inexplicable feeling of closeness in his heart, Shen Liman's heart couldn't help but waver. Seeing Shen Liman's troubled look, Ji Yun thought for a while and said, I heard from my adoptive mother that I was born in the township hospital of Jinhua town. It was the 10th of July. It happened to rain heavily that day, and a group of people came to the hospital because of a landslide. For the injured, there were few people in the hospital at that time, so it was quite chaotic. Ji Yun didn't have any real evidence at this time. He wanted to do a genetic test, but he didn't have the connections now. That's right, when Can had her first baby, Lyman, you were so scared that you had to send her to the hospital in the town. It was the only hospital in the village. Do you still remember, Lyman? The old lady has a good memory. Well, when Ji Yun said this, he remembered what happened back then. Now the old lady was more sure that what Ji Yun said was true. Shen Liman nodded. Of course he remembered this. When his wife gave birth to a child, his mother went to her eldest sister's house to make food, and she was still taking care of the child. By the way, I have a red petal-like birthmark on my shoulder, Ji Yun said. If it can't be confirmed again, there is nothing I can do for the time being. Since God doesn't allow me to recognize each other now, it means that the fate has not yet arrived. I can only find other ways to take care of the Shen family. Wait a minute, I'll ask. Surprisingly, when he heard Ji Yun say this, Shen Liman hesitated a little, turned around and ran down. Grandma, why don't we go down too? It's quite a long walk from the town. My name is Ji Yun for the time being. If possible, I hope to change it to Shen Yun, Ji Yun said bluntly. She didn't want to have too much contact with the Ji family, otherwise the Ji family would think she couldn't bear to leave their family. My cousin is also tired, let's go back and have a rest. Huang Bin didn't have so many entanglements and said directly. Anyway, he looked at her like his cousin, gentle and polite, soft-spoken, unlike Momo, who always seemed to have a little thought in people's eyes. Okay, let's go down first, but Bin, don't make any noise. The old lady took Ji Yun's hand and walked downstairs. She walked to Shen Liman's house and said hello, then continued walking downstairs. Where are we going? The matter has not reached the final step yet, and Ji Yun will definitely not leave now. Come to my house, I will cook, and we will eat at our house today, the old lady said with a smile. Ji-yoon felt the kindness of the old lady and didn't understand why she seemed to accept it faster. Could it be that she didn't like Ji-momo? Ji-yoon guessed. Ji-yoon followed the old lady to the main house of the Shen family. The terrace where the house was located was not small, and there were many rooms. Ji-yoon took a quick look and saw that there were 7 or 8 houses, which were much larger than the houses he had seen in the village. She was arranged to sit at the table under the jujube tree in the yard. Hwang Ben didn't know what he was asked to do by the old lady. Anyway, he didn't see anyone when he came back. The old lady took the dish and sat next to Ji-yoon, looking like she was going to have a deep conversation. Do you have anything to ask? Ji-yoon looked at the old lady's eyes and looked at himself from time to time without saying anything. His straight back was a little stiff. Ji-yoon is really a bit introverted. In the past, she would not take the initiative to talk to strangers unless she had to. But now that she is facing her own grandma, and she will have to interact with her often in the future, Ji-yoon still forces herself to take the initiative. The first step. Child, can you let me see the birthmark on your shoulder? Before the old lady could answer, she heard a female voice coming from the door. Ji-yoon looked up and saw a pregnant woman with a big belly walking towards the side quickly, throwing away Shen Liman's support. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 6. Chapter 6 Acknowledging Relatives. Can, why are you down here? Before Ji-yoon could speak, the old lady next to him quickly walked over and helped the person over. Mom, don't worry, I heard what Lyman said, come down and take a look. Yang Can held Yang Xiaoko's hand and talked to her, but looked straight at Ji-yoon. Ji-yoon stood up directly. This must be his mother, but Ji-yoon was a little confused as to why he hadn't seen her in his previous life. Can I see the birthmark on your shoulder? Yang Can asked again. Looking at Ji-yoon's face, and thinking about what her husband had just said when he went back, Yang Can began to have serious doubts. Okay, Ji-yoon nodded. The birthmark was on his shoulder. He had it since he was a child. There was nothing he couldn't see. The two of them followed the old lady directly to her room to look at the birthmark. Ji-yoon's birthmark is on her left shoulder, which is light red like a petal. As soon as Yang Can saw the birthmark on Ji-yoon's shoulder, he was so excited that tears fell down. Ji-yoon was startled and quickly supported her. Can, what's wrong with you? Don't cry. We have something to talk about. You still have a baby in your belly, so you can't be so excited, the old lady quickly advised. Mom, please call Lyman in, Yang Can cried. Yang Xiaoko didn't respond, so he raised his voice and shouted outside. Shen Lyman came in very quickly. As soon as he came in and saw Yang Can crying, he immediately came over and said, "What's going on? Why are you crying when everything is fine? The child is still here, and there is another one in your belly. No matter what the outcome, let's calm down first," Shen Lyman coaxed softly. Yang Can calmed down a little when he heard Shen Lyman say this. You're right, Yang Can wiped away her tears. Child, I just want to ask, it's been confirmed over there that Momo is their biological daughter, right? Yang Can asked, holding Ji-yoon's hand. Yes, I asked someone to do a paternity test abroad, Ji-yoon nodded. That's right, the hospital in the town is not big. When I gave birth, there were only 2 of them giving birth, including me. Later, someone was injured in a landslide, and many injured people were admitted to the hospital in the town. It was probably the 2 children who got into trouble at that time. Yang Can said after thinking for a while. She had just given birth not long ago, and before she left the delivery room, she heard the rush outside. There was no dedicated obstetrician in the small hospital in the town. At that time, she and the woman next door had just given birth not long ago. The doctor hurried out, and there was only a little nurse left inside. It was probably that the two families had mixed up their children at that time. After all, looking at the way Ji-yoon was dressed now, it was impossible for someone to deliberately mix up the children. Ji-yoon couldn't help but nodded when she heard Yang Kan say this. The results she found in her previous life were like this. When the nurse was cleaning up the two children, she accidentally made a mistake. Later, the mother was weak, and the children were taken care of by family members. The children were all the same when they were born. In addition, the children grew up quickly, and they changed in 2 or 3 days. I probably didn't expect that the children were not their own. It's all my fault. When you were born, the doctor took a look at me. At that time, I noticed the red mark on your shoulder. When it disappeared, I asked the doctor. The doctor said it might be the red mark caused by the squeeze in the birth canal during birth. Yinzi, I didn't take it to heart. I never thought it was the child who caused the problem. Yang Kan couldn't help but blushing again as he spoke. Ji-yoon looked at the people with red eyes and said consolingly, I can't blame any one person for this. I can only say that the conditions at the time were too bad. After what Yang Kan said, Shen Liman, who was still a little skeptical at first, also dispelled his doubts. Looking at the daughter in front of me, thinking that the daughter I had raised for 19 years left without saying a word, I still feel uncomfortable. Okay, let's all be happy. This is our child. We must treat the child well in the future. Momo's child will have his own parents to love him in the future. His parents' conditions are not bad. You can keep it in mind, but don't worry about it. Yang Xiaoko looked at the faces of his son and daughter-in-law, and immediately said, let's make the matter clear first, so as not to hurt her daughter's heart. When the two of them heard what Yang Xiaoko said, their expressions calmed down. Ji-yoon didn't care that they were thinking about Ji Momo. After all, he was not that heartless person. If a child he had raised for so many years forgot about it in a short while, then he would probably be the same as Ji's family. But when I heard my grandma say this, I felt a lot better. It didn't matter if I thought about it. As long as I didn't mention it in front of myself often, I could just pretend I didn't know. As time went by, I would be able to let go of this person one day. Seeing the two people looking at him, Ji-yoon took the initiative and said, don't worry, the conditions of Ji's family in Beijing are not bad, and she will not have a hard life. As for whether her family can always love her, that depends on she's up to it. When several people heard what Ji-yoon said, they immediately felt relieved. Just as he was about to ask Ji-yoon what he wanted to order, he heard a noise coming from outside the door. When a few people looked outside, they saw an old man with white hair, tall and thin body and a bit of a stoop walking over with a few people, whom they had never seen before. But thinking about the results of the past life investigation, these should be my relatives, and the old man in front should be my grandfather. As expected, Yang Xiaoko greeted her directly, and then Ji-yoon heard the old lady explain her life experience to several people. After listening to what the old lady said, several people nodded. They were called back by Huang Bin. At that time, they had already heard what the boy had said in general. Now Yang Xiaoko said it in more detail. After hearing this, everyone looked directly at Ji-yoon. Now that I've got it back, I don't mind being poor at home from now on. You can stay at home. Well, if someone else has a bite to eat, you won't be deprived. The old man looked serious, but his tone was rare and soft. The people nearby heard what the old man said, but they didn't have any objections. Anyway, there were a lot of people in the family, and Shen Liman was also separated. If this girl is easy to get along with, then they will treat her as family from now on. If she is not easy to get along with, like Momo in that case, less contact. Ji-yoon didn't know what the people on the other side were thinking. He listened carefully as Yang Kankan introduced several people to him. The old man in front is my grandfather, named Shen Quiliang, the older couple behind is the eldest uncle and his wife, and the younger one next to them is the second uncle. Next to him were his cousins, and cousins. I also have an aunt, Huangbin's mother, who didn't come here today. There are more than a dozen people in the family, including those who have worked outside and have not returned home. It is really a big family. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 7. Chapter 7 The Appearance of Spiritual Energy. Ji-yoon looked at the curious eyes on the other side and looked back straight. The Shen family members are all easy to recognize. Everyone is tall and thin. Even my height of 171 centimeters makes me look short among these people. The person who was looking at Ji-yoon suddenly looked away with embarrassment when he saw Ji-yoon looking this way. Okay, don't wait at the door. Come in quickly and recognize me. Ifen, Xiaofen, come with me to cook. Yang Xiaoko saw the whole family standing at the door looking at people, and quickly said hello. Then he asked the eldest daughter-in-law and the second daughter-in-law to go over and cook together. The granddaughter had just come back and always wanted to prepare something good. The children of other families were all fat. Why did she feel a little uncomfortable when she saw her granddaughter so thin? Isn't that right? That family was probably patriarchal. The old lady thought so in her heart, but did not say it out loud. You and your parents are resting here, we are all family members. Don't be afraid. Grandma will prepare delicious food for you, the old lady explained and left in a hurry. Got out. Ji-yoon was pulled into the room by her parents. With everyone watching, she told some stories about her life in the capital. She did not exaggerate or conceal anything, she spoke straightforwardly and clearly about her life in the capital. The living conditions have been okay in the past few years, but the care and attention from my family are nothing to ask for. At most, I think about it and ask about it occasionally. The whole family felt a little uncomfortable when they heard what Ji-yoon said. Originally, there was only one girl from 3 families in the family. Although Ji Momo had an unpleasant personality, her family treated her well. They didn't expect that their own child would be in someone else's home. But he lived a life where no one loved him. Thinking about how the girls in the village lived in families that favored boys over girls, everyone unconsciously got involved with Ji-yoon. Ji-yoon saw that they were a little silent after hearing his words. He really didn't know why. When Yang Xiaoko finished cooking and came over to invite everyone to eat, he saw that the atmosphere in the room was a bit strange. She hurried over to make a break, and the whole family had a meal together at noon, and finally got to know each other a little better. After eating, those who should work, and those who should rest should continue to rest. Ji-yoon was held by Yang Kankan's hand and said goodbye to his family, then walked directly towards his home above. Followed by Shen Liman and Ji-yoon's brother Shen Sing, who had just met before eating. At this time, the family members who had only known each other for a few hours were thinking about how to speak. Yun, there are only 3 rooms in the house. You can live in the room where Momo lived for the time being. How about building a room for you when the house is expanded in the future? Yang Kankan looked at her daughter who was supporting her thoughtfully. Asked cautiously. Okay, Ji-yoon nodded, as long as you have some accommodation. Yang Kankan breathed a sigh of relief, his daughter didn't seem difficult to get along with. By the way, my household registration has been transferred back. I want to register my household registration at home tomorrow and change my surname. Is that okay? Ji-yoon asked the 2 people for their opinions. Okay, Dad will take you there tomorrow, Shen Liman from behind responded immediately. While talking, several people arrived home. This is Ji-yoon's first time here. It is a very ordinary small farmyard. A longan tree blocks most of the sunlight, making the yard much cooler. There are 3 houses built with bricks and stones. They are in the village. It's quite a nice house. Li Min, let's go and clean up the room first, and let Yun Yun take a rest later. Yang Kankan started to organize things as soon as he entered the yard. Let me help, too. Ji Yun couldn't sit by himself and watch a pregnant woman with a big belly working there. No, Mom and Dad are here. You are already very tired after coming from the capital, so take a rest first. Mom, I'm not tired, this little work is nothing. Ji Yun is not a squeamish person, and she used to clean the house a lot. Ji Yun didn't know how to call her mom just now, but now that she was calling him out, Ji Yun felt at ease. He picked up his salute and walked towards the house. Yang Kankan heard Ji Yun call her mother, and her eyes couldn't help but turn red again. She watched Ji Yun catch up and didn't stop him. The room is not small, but there are a lot of things in it. The 3 of them simply tidied up the room, put away Ji Momo's things, and put Ji Yun's things on the table. The housing conditions at home are not good. Let's stay here for now. When the conditions improve later, we will build a new house. Yang Kankan said a little awkwardly as he watched Ji Yun pack his things. Our house is quite nice. It's very comfortable when the wind blows. You can see the mountains from the windows. It's not like Beijing, where housing is tight. If you want to see so many trees, you won't be able to see them unless you go to the park. There are still houses outside the house. There is no cool breeze at all, Ji Yun said with a smile. She really felt that this room was good. Looking at the scenery outside the window, she felt that her whole body was open. Hearing what Ji Yun said, both husband and wife smiled. Then take a rest for a while and we won't disturb you, Yang Kankan said thoughtfully. Ji Yun nodded. Even if he didn't rest, pregnant women would have to rest. Ji Yun breathed a sigh of relief as he looked at the couple going out. Fortunately, the recognition went smoothly on the first day, and the family members didn't seem to be difficult people to get along with, so it was no big deal if their conditions were so different. Looking at the green outside, Ji Yun sat directly by the window and started meditating. Except for the chirping of birds and the chirping of cicadas, all other sounds in the entire space disappeared, and gradually these sounds also became far away. Ji Yun gradually became immersed in his thoughts, trying to see if he could find the existence of spiritual energy just like he did in Jingxi. Thinking about the ray of spiritual energy he felt before coming from Beijing, Ji Yun felt that the spiritual energy may have revived earlier than humans knew. It was only after the great spiritual energy explosion a few years later that humans realized that a special energy had appeared in the world. Ji Yun, relying on his spiritual consciousness that was stronger than ordinary people after being reborn, tried hard to feel the strange movements in the surrounding air. Unfortunately, she did not discover the spiritual energy until she decided to end the meditation. Ji Yun immediately decided to withdraw his consciousness and go out to communicate with his new family members. Then I knew that as soon as my spiritual consciousness was recovered, I felt a wisp of spiritual energy appear. Ji Yun suddenly became excited. She thought that it would take a long time to feel the spiritual energy here, or that there might not be any at all, but she didn't know that she could feel the spiritual energy with just a little effort of meditating. And this spiritual energy is not as fleeting as what he felt in Beijing. Ji Yun feels that the spiritual energy is constantly appearing. Although it is very small, according to the current situation, he should be able to draw it into his body in a few days. Controlling the excitement in his heart, Ji Yun carefully compressed his consciousness into a thread and probed in the direction where the spiritual energy came from. Yun Yun, are you awake? Ji Yun was trying hard to find out the source of the spiritual energy when he suddenly heard a knock on the door outside. His consciousness paused, then he retracted it directly. After rubbing his brain, which was aching from overuse of his consciousness, Ji Yun stood up and walked towards the door. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 8. Chapter 8, Settled. At the last moment, her spiritual consciousness detected the general direction of the spiritual energy. She planned to find a time to go there and take a look. Today's time was too short, and Ji-yoon had not had time to introduce the spiritual energy into her body. But thinking about the ray of spiritual energy just mentioned, she was very confident in introducing the chi into her body. As soon as the door opened, she saw Shen Liman standing outside the door. Dad Ji-yoon still called out. "Hey, come here and see if you've slept well. Don't sleep too much. You probably won't be able to sleep at night." Shen Liman stood at the door nervously and said. "I haven't slept for long. I was just looking at the scenery outside. By the way, the mountain facing our window looks really nice. It's such a large bamboo forest. Can I go up there?" Ji-yoon asked casually, his aura rising. "Over there, let's check it out first. You'll definitely want to go there later." "Where are you talking about?" "It's the bamboo forest in the village. It has been accessible from the road in front of our house for many years. The villagers often go up there to dig bamboo shoots in spring. If you want to go there, I'll let you go in 2 days. My cousin will take you up," Shen Liman said quickly. It wasn't that he didn't want to accompany his daughter, but his wife was about to give birth and he was worried. Ji-yoon nodded. It would be good to let the locals take him there first. "Looking at the mountains from behind, I wonder if there are any dangers in the mountains that I don't know about. I am not yet capable of protecting myself, and I don't dare to be arrogant." The family here went out and sat under a tree to enjoy the cool air. Down below, Shen Qiuliang and his wife gathered together and talked quietly. "Old man, you said our granddaughter is back, do you want to take her to pay homage to her ancestors?" Yang Xiaoko asked in a low voice. "What's the hurry? Let's see how this girl's character is first." Shen Qiuliang glanced at his old wife and said calmly. "How can you not be in a hurry? In the past, you said that Momo was unstable and overly cautious, so you didn't take her there. Now that your granddaughter has been found, you said to have a look again. The time predicted by our ancestors was only 50 years. Now, that's it? There are only 2 girls in these 2 generations, she and Er Yetu. Er Yetu is 45 years old this year. There are a few great-grandchildren in the next generation. We haven't seen any of them. If you delay again, you will have to wait a few more days. I'll take my place." Yang Xiaoko looked at his old man's nagging temper and suddenly became anxious. This old man was really very slow and anxious. Shen Qiuliang looked at Yang Xiaoko's angry look and said quickly, "Okay, let me find a time to take her over to pay homage. This is called recognizing one's ancestors and returning to the clan, and you, my wife, are sensible." Hearing what Shen Qiuliang said, Yang Xiaoko nodded with satisfaction. Shen Qiuliang saw Yang Xiaoko go out with satisfaction, and he immediately breathed a sigh of relief. The old woman was not good at this, she was too hasty. Hey, who would have wanted to marry him? After decades, this is the only way. But thinking about this newly recognized granddaughter, Shen Qiuliang also felt a little hopeful in his heart. He hoped that she would be angry and finish the things assigned by her ancestors, so that she would not trouble the next generation. Ji-yoon and the others didn't know what was going on in the old house, but their family got along very well. Shen Liman has more things to worry about at home. Yang Kankan has a relatively strong personality. Although Shen Xing is 12, he behaves quite obediently. Although he is a little cautious towards himself, Ji-yoon feels much more comfortable than at Ji's house. The family had dinner and had no entertainment activities, so they went to rest separately. The summer in the mountains was not as hot and unbearable as in the capital, so Ji-yoon slept very well. Early the next morning, he had a simple meal at home, took Yang Kankan to the old house to settle down, and said hello to his family. Ji-yoon and Shen Liman walked towards the town together. The matter went smoothly. The 2 people explained what happened. In addition, Ji-yoon had prepared all the procedures. So when he came out of the Public Security Bureau, Ji-yoon had already become Shen-yoon. He will be called this name from now on. From now on, I will have nothing to do with the Ji family at all. So, let's send the proof of the household registration transfer to Momo, plus some of her things. After leaving the Public Security Bureau, Shen Liman looked at her face carefully and said. Only then did Shen Yun realize that the things Shen Liman had brought from home early in the morning were sent by Shen Yun. However, thinking about the fate of sending these things, she still didn't say them out even though the words were on her lips. Okay, I'll give you the address. Shen Yun nodded silently. Shen Liman was happy for a moment, but looked at Shen Yun's face and couldn't help but take it back. After sending the things, the two of them went to Huangbin's house, which was his aunt's house. Only then did Shen Yun realize that the person helping in the car that day was actually his own aunt. Oh, Liman and Yun Yun are here. I heard Huangbin say it yesterday. I didn't expect it to be such a coincidence that you are my niece. Shen Huiyan looked at the father and daughter who came to the door, and the smile on his face became even more enthusiastic. I didn't expect you to be my aunt. It's all fate. Shen Yun also said with a smile. Come in, Huangbin, your brother-in-law and your cousin are here, come out quickly. Shen Huiyan greeted enthusiastically. The father and daughter were warmly greeted into the room, and Shen Huiyan immediately turned on the TV. Yun Yun, sit down and eat some fruit. Shen Huiyan stuffed an apple into Shen Yun's hand without any explanation. Thank you, Aunt. Shen Yun said politely. Oh, why are you so polite? You treat this place as your home. Momo was not polite when you came here before. After saying these words, Shen Huiyan realized that he was talking nonsense. Look at me, what are you talking about? Look, I know how to tell TV. I'll go see what I can cook for lunch. Shen Huiyan said with a smile and hurried towards the kitchen. I'm going to see if your mother can help. Shen Liman sat for a while and then walked towards the kitchen. Sister, let me help you. Shen Yun was sitting in the room and heard Shen Liman say. Okay, let me tell you something. Huangbin told me yesterday when he came back. I also went to the previous doctors and nurses to inquire. The doctors and nurses at the time confirmed that the hospital was indeed there were only those two mothers. There were very few people who went to the hospital to give birth in that condition. In addition, there were patients injured by the mudslide that day. The doctor remembered it very clearly. She also remembered that there was indeed a red mark on the shoulder of a baby girl. Now that it's confirmed that this is our child, you can't just miss Momo. I know you value friendship, but you can't break your daughter's heart. Shen Huiyan said softly. If it weren't for Shen Yun's powerful spiritual consciousness, he wouldn't be able to hear what the two people inside were saying. But she was very satisfied after hearing this, and she didn't need to explain anything now. Shen Yun looked at the black and white TV in front of him in a very happy mood. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 9. Chapter 9. This is a bit scary. Hey, cousin, don't mind what my mom said just now. My mom actually doesn't like Momo very much. She can't even say she's rude when she comes to our house. She just treats it as her own home. I've long since I'm annoying her, but I can't tell her because they're all relatives, Huangbin complained to Shen Yun in a low voice. Looking at his rather disgusted face, Shen Yun couldn't help but want to laugh. Thinking about what Ji Momo did in his previous life, Shen Yun believed what Huangbin said. The two of them got to know each other after what happened yesterday. After having a meal at Wang's house at noon, father and daughter hurried home again. Shen Yun lived in the Shen family for a week and became completely familiar with the Shen family. He also successfully used the weak spiritual energy to introduce qi into his body and became a monk at the first level of qi refining. It can be regarded as a bit of self-protection. Cousin, I want to go to the bamboo forest above us, can you take me with you? Shen Yun looked at Shen Chen, who was free at home that day, and asked. Okay, I just have nothing to do today, so I went to chop some bamboo, Shen Chen responded happily. After getting along with each other for the past few days, he also found that this cousin is not like Momo, who likes to be a monster, and usually doesn't cause trouble when everything is fine. These people themselves. Of course, there is nothing wrong with the small matter of going to the bamboo forest. The two of them said hello to their families and headed straight towards the mountain. Old man, my granddaughter has been back for so many days, how long do you want to wait? Yang Xiaoko looked at the eldest grandson and granddaughter walking away, and looked angrily at Shen Kuliang, who was repairing farm tools. What's the rush? It'll be quick. Aren't you familiar with this girl? Just wait, Shen Kuliang said unhurriedly. Yang Xiaoko looked at the old man, who was fooling him as always, snorted angrily, turned around and went into the house. Shen Yun here followed Shen Chen and quickly passed the Shen Yun family's house and entered the road into the mountain. Our mountain is not very high, but it is very deep. Although no one has seen any dangerous animals in recent years, people should not go deep into the mountains. I heard the old people in the village say that there are wild boars and the like in the mountains. It's very dangerous, Shen Chen explained as he walked. He was afraid that Shen Yun would run into the mountains on his own in the future. They had lived here since childhood and knew more about it. She had just come back. Don't be stupid and bold. Don't worry, I won't go to the mountains if nothing happens, Shen Yun responded obediently. There is no danger in the bamboo forest on this mountain. People from our village often come here, but we still need to be more careful this summer. There are many snakes and insects, Shen Chen continued to give instructions. Okay, I'll come up and take a look. Shen Yun didn't plan to do anything when he went up the mountain this time. The bamboo forest is not far away. As soon as I walked in, I saw lush bamboos all over the mountain. They were very tall and strong. They were better than the bamboos Shen Yun had seen before. The bamboo in our village is pretty good. This mountain is a geomantic treasure. You can see that the bamboo forest and the trees on the mountain are growing very well, Shen Chen said to Shen Yun excitedly. Shen Yun nodded, his consciousness left his body, and he looked directly in the direction where he found the spiritual energy. This time, he was very close. As expected, he sensed the spiritual energy not far away, but the direction where the spiritual energy drifted was much farther than he imagined. She still had to lean in. Shen Yun did not force this time. As soon as she felt that her consciousness was a bit painful, she immediately pulled it back. Last time, she used too much of her consciousness and gave her a headache for several days. The feeling was really uncomfortable. This time she don't dare to take risks anymore. Then I'll take a look around here, and you chop the bamboo first, Shen Yun greeted. Then don't run too far. There is a lot of grass in this bamboo forest, so I dare not say there are no snakes, Shen Chen explained. Okay, seeing Shen Chen busy, Shen Yun slowly approached the spiritual energy, his consciousness surrounding his body. With his current cultivation level, it would be difficult for ordinary small animals to hurt him, but poisonous snakes might be able to hurt him. After all, he is still a mortal body. The bamboo forest was very wide. Shen Yun walked around and greeted Shen Chen without seeing the edge. Here, there are bamboo fungus here, let me pick some. I had seen this thing in the mountains with others in my previous life, so it was not unfamiliar to me, so it was an excuse. Quickly picked up a lot of pockets nearby and put them in his clothes, then went down to meet Shen Chen. You're lucky to have encountered this thing. Shen Chen looked at the thing in Shen Yun's pocket and found that it was indeed bamboo fungus, and said with a smile. I happened to see something on the edge, shall we go back now? Go back, and next autumn, I will take you up the mountain to catch rabbits and pick wild fruits, Shen Chen said with a smile. Shen Yun thought for a while and said, I probably won't have time to come up here in the fall. I still have to go to school. Go to school, high school, I have never heard my third uncle say this. University, sophomore year begins. What? College. That's great. We have a college student in our family. Grandpa is going to be so happy. Let's go down the mountain quickly. Shen Chen picked up a few chopped bamboos and walked down happily. Yun glanced behind him and followed directly. Before entering the village, Shen Chen yelled at Shen Liman, and then walked directly downstairs without stopping. Leaving a somewhat dazed Shen Liman looking at Shen Yun behind him, Yun, what did your elder brother just say? What university? Oh, you didn't hear it, I just heard it inside. Shen Chen said that we are so college students. Yang Ken walked out happily with a big belly. What, we have a college student in our family? Shen Liman's mouth opened in shock. Yun, please watch your mother, I'll go to your grandpa's house. After saying that, he ran towards the old house below. Let's go, call Sing. Let's go too. We'll go to your grandpa's house for dinner today, so your dad won't have to cook. Yang Ken happily took Shen Yun's hand and called inside. Ignoring Shen Xin, who ran out from behind, he pulled Shen Yun and walked downstairs. As soon as he entered the courtyard of the old house, he saw everyone in the family coming out, looking at him as if he were a rare animal. The eyes are even more intense than the first day. It's not easy, it's not easy. A dozen families in our village finally gave birth to a college student. Let's go with Grandpa to offer incense to our ancestors. Shen, who initially told Yang Xiaoko that he was waiting Kuliang, when he heard his eldest grandson saying that Shen Yun was a college student, he was immediately happy and didn't want to wait any longer. Before Shen Yun could say anything, Yang Xiaoko happily pulled him away with his grandfather. Before Shen Yun could figure out what to bring to worship his ancestors, he saw Shen Kuliang opening a closed room in the backyard. When Shen Yun knelt on the futon and looked at the row of memorial tablets above, he was still a little confused. It turned out that he didn't want to go to the cemetery to bury himself. Shen Kuliang was beside him and talked about Shen Yun's identity and the matter of being admitted to college, then lit a stick of incense and handed it to Shen Yun. Girl, kowtow 3 times and put a stick of incense on it. Shen Yun agreed obediently. She was used to this. In her previous life, when she went to dig tombs at an archaeological site, she would burn incense sticks before doing so. 3 heads were eaten, and Shen Yun put the incense on his hand into the incense burner. My dear granddaughter, do you feel anything? Shen Kuliang asked mysteriously. Even Shen Yun, who was not afraid of ghosts and gods in the past, felt a little scared in this environment. What do you feel? Shen Yun asked tentatively. Could it be that if he kowtowed, his ancestors would send a message to him? Isn't it possible? Shen Kuliang muttered quietly. What's wrong? As soon as Shen Yun finished speaking, he felt something was wrong. A small box placed in front of the tablet actually gave off a faint light, which was a bit scary in this mountain village where there were no electric lights. End of this chapter. The Age of Rebirth, the fake daughter relies on cultivation to become bigger and stronger. Author, Laughing Charm. Chapter 10. Chapter 10 Jade Space. Grandpa, have you noticed something is wrong? After all, this is the ancestor of the Shen family, and it's hard to say that Mr. Shen Yun has seen a ghost. What did you find? Shen Kuliang asked in surprise. According to the words passed down from the ancestors, in the past 50 years, the daughters of the Shen family will have a strange relationship when they worship their ancestors. The specific kind of romance has been unclear from the legends passed down from generation to generation. After so many years, Shen Kuliang has brought his family members to worship without finding anything. Now he heard Shen Yun ask if he had noticed any difference. He who used to be calm became excited. He wanted to see what the romance that had been passed down for so many years was. Don't you see it? Shen Yun pointed at the box in front of the memorial tablet and asked in a low voice. If this wasn't the Shen family's ancestral hall, based on her experience, she would have gone there to see it. After all, it was expensive, and she was now a cultivator of immortality. Shen Kuliang saw Shen Yun's movements and looked at the black box in front of the memorial tablet with confusion. It was so black. Has there been any change? Hand out his hand and took the box over. Shen Yun saw the dark room, and his grandfather's face was particularly clearly illuminated, but he didn't seem to feel anything at all. Has there been any change in this wooden sign? Shen Kuliang took something out of the box and asked doubtfully. Shen Yun looked at the wooden sign he was talking about. It was obviously a perfectly carved jade sign. Shen Yun could see from a few steps away that it was glowing with a rich luster, flickering on and off, as if it was breathing. Grandpa, are you sure this is a wooden sign? Shen Yun asked uncertainly. Are the latitudes of sight of the two people different? Isn't it? Come on, tell me, what difference did you see? Shen Kuliang suddenly thought that this might be the adventure his ancestors talked about, and asked curiously. This is a jade token I saw. Shen Yun thought for a while and said. Although cultivators compete with the sky and seize opportunities to improve their strength, the person in front of him is his own grandfather, a person with whom he has karma. If she unconscionably said that this was a wooden sign and then took it for herself, then she would really be afraid that the inner demons would disrupt her practice during the thunder tribulation later. Jade plaque, Yun Yun, hold this thing carefully and see if it is really a jade plaque, Shen Kuliang said and handed the thing to Shen Yun. The speed was so fast, it was as if the hand was holding a hot potato, and I was afraid that I would burn myself if I was delayed for a second. Shen Yun was a little confused as he held the jade token. This thing came into his hands so easily. If he didn't want it, he could just take it. Taking a closer look, I saw that I was indeed right. It was indeed a jade plaque. The carving was better than the jade plaques I had seen in various dynasties. The most important thing was that when the jade plaque was in my hands, I realized that it contained a touch of aura. Is it a spiritual stone? Tell me what this thing is. Our family has not understood it for dozens of generations, Shen Kuliang urged. Shen Yun noticed that the old farmers in his mountain village still had dozens of generations of inheritance. On the other hand, he was a little confused that the jade tablet in his hand, which looked like a spiritual stone, was not a real spiritual stone. He had just secretly inhaled some spiritual energy, but the spiritual energy on the jade token did not decrease at all. It does not match the concentration of spiritual energy on the jade plaque at all. The patterns carved on the jade plate are also very strange. When the divine sense reaches up, there are actually restrictions. If I had not reacted quickly and withdrew my spiritual sense, I would have been injured. Grandpa, did our ancestors leave any words? Shen Yun asked directly. This is true, Shen Kuliang thought for a while and said. He had forgotten it in the excitement, but now he remembered it after Shen Yun reminded him. It is said that our ancestors have a destiny. Back then, our ancestors became an immortal, but you have known for so many generations that there is no such possibility. Immortals are all legends. The country says this is fabricated, and it is definitely not true. As soon as Shen Yun heard this, he had an idea in his mind. The thing in his hand might really be an immortal thing left by his ancestors. However, the spiritual consciousness cannot break through, but as a member of the Shen family, he shines as soon as he worships. It must be because he is of the blood of the Shen family. Grandpa, this legend is really possible, but this thing is not mine at the moment, and I have no way to verify it now. Shen Yun told the truth, unless he lets himself try to identify the master with a drop of blood, otherwise with his current cultivation level, it is impossible to break through the restrictions on the jade tablet. Since you discovered the anomaly, this thing is yours. It has been here for so many years, just waiting for someone to discover that it is different. Now that you have discovered it, it is yours. I have fulfilled my ancestors' last wish. In the future, this matter will no longer be left to the next generation, Shen Kuliang said solemnly. In this case, Grandpa, I will take advantage. Shen Yun was really curious about what this thing was in front of him. In his last life, he came back late and didn't have time to find out what this thing was. It seemed that no one in the Shen family had discovered it, otherwise he would just with this jade quality. It is impossible for the family to live in such poverty. If it's yours, it's yours. Besides, this thing is just a worthless wooden sign in our eyes. Grandpa just hopes that if you have any adventures in the future, you can help the Shen family and help the children and grandchildren of the family so that they will not have such a difficult life. Shen Kuliang said seriously. Okay Grandpa, don't worry, Shen Yun solemnly promised. Then she broke her finger in front of Shen Kuliang and smeared it directly on the jade plaque. The blood stains disappeared after a while. Oh, it's really a jade plaque. This thing looks quite expensive. You should keep it well in the future. Shen Kuliang saw that after Chen Yun's blood was smeared on it, a layer of black ashes fell from the wooden plaque. When it fell down, the entire wooden sign turned into warm white jade. Shen Kuliang knew that this thing must be different, but he didn't point it out and just told Shen Yun to put it away. There is no trace of greed in his eyes. When Shen Kuliang saw the changes in the wooden sign, Shen Yun felt that he had established a connection with the jade sign in his mind, and a vast fairyland appeared in his mind. This was the space in the jade sign. Grandpa, this thing is worth. I don't want to know how much this thing is worth. You know, the more you know, the more you want. Keep it well and don't tell anyone now. Although our family is very good, I can't guarantee whether you will change your character under the temptation of precious money. Keep it well. If you are willing in the future, then help your brothers and sisters. If you are not willing, then I won't force you, the old man said directly. Duan Chenyun's words were firm. After saying that, he asked Shen Yun to put the things away and check them when no one was around, then took the lead and walked out. End of this chapter.